Evelyn used to be one of those people who woke up before the sun. She loved the quiet hours when the world was still asleep, when the air was cool, the light was soft, and the smell of morning coffee filled her kitchen. But lately, those mornings felt different. She'd wake up tired, heavy, and somehow older. Her legs ached, her fingers felt stiff, and there was a strange chill that seemed to cling to her skin no matter how many blankets she used. She used to brush it off, telling herself, "Well, I'm almost 70. This is just how it goes." But deep down, it bothered her. Because Evelyn wasn't ready to feel done with life. She still had so much she wanted to do. Travel to see her sister in the countryside, dance at her granddaughter's wedding, tend to her garden the way she used to. But every time she tried, her body said no. Her circulation had slowed, her energy had faded, and even simple things, like walking up the stairs, left her breathless. The slow fade. It's something that happens to many people after 60. Our blood vessels stiffen. Our muscles lose strength. The heart has to work harder just to send blood through the body. And when circulation slows down, it shows up everywhere. Cold hands and feet, brain fog, fatigue, even restless legs at night. Doctors often call it a part of aging, but Evelyn couldn't accept that. She believed there had to be a way to support her body, to help it remember how it used to feel. So she did what most people do. She tried supplements. She tried walking. She tried those miracle circulation pills she saw online. Expensive bottles that promised energy and youth. Nothing worked. She grew frustrated. And more than that, she grew scared. Because deep down, she was beginning to believe this was permanent. The Forgotten Garden. Then one quiet afternoon, something changed. Evelyn was in her garden, the same small patch of earth she'd cared for most of her life. Her knees hurt, her back ached, and she thought about giving up gardening altogether. But as she bent down to pull a few weeds, she caught the scent of something familiar. A strong, clean fragrance, earthy, minty, alive. It was her old rosemary bush. That scent stopped her cold. It pulled her back to a memory, one she hadn't thought about in years. Her grandmother's house. The smell of rosemary simmering in warm oil, her grandmother's gentle hands rubbing it onto her legs, whispering softly, "Let the blood flow like the river, my dear. Nature knows how to heal you." Evelyn smiled at the memory, but something inside her shifted. That night she couldn't stop thinking about it. Could it really be that simple? Could something so natural, so old-fashioned, still help today? The rediscovery. The next morning, she went digging through an old wooden box where she kept her grandmother's recipes, handwritten notes for herbal teas, ointments, and remedies. And there it was. A faded piece of paper labeled Herbal Circulation Oil. Below it, 3 ingredients, rosemary, peppermint, lavender. Each had a note beside it. Rosemary, for warmth and memory. Peppermint, for energy and movement. Lavender, for calm and flow. Evelyn couldn't believe it. All 3 were sitting right there in her kitchen. She read more about them online, learning what modern science now says. Rosemary improves blood flow and may even support memory. Peppermint oil relaxes blood vessels and muscles, helping oxygen move more freely. Lavender reduces inflammation and calms the nervous system, improving sleep. These weren't just old wives' tales. They were backed by real research. So Evelyn decided to recreate the remedy. She warmed some olive oil on the stove, added fresh rosemary sprigs, a few drops of peppermint oil, and a pinch of dried lavender. The aroma filled her kitchen, soothing, powerful, familiar. She poured it into a glass jar and set it by the window to infuse under the sun. For 7 days, she watched that jar. Every morning, she'd swirl it gently, whispering her grandmother's words again. Nature knows how to heal you. The first night, when the oil was ready, Evelyn poured a small amount into her hands and rubbed them together. The warmth spread immediately. She massaged it into her legs, starting from her ankles, moving upward in slow, circular motions, the way her grandmother once did. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional. It felt like she was reconnecting with a part of herself that had gone quiet. Within minutes, she felt a gentle tingling. Her legs no longer felt icy. There was warmth, movement, life. She slept better that night than she had in months. The subtle change. The next morning, something strange happened. Evelyn woke up before her alarm, alert, calm, and somehow lighter. Her body didn't feel as stiff. The usual heaviness in her legs had softened. She told herself not to get too excited, but deep down, she knew something was happening. She kept using the oil every evening. Within 2 weeks, she noticed she could walk longer without pain. Her hands stayed warm even in the cold mornings, and that mental fog she had grown used to, it started to lift. Her friends noticed too. One of them said, "Evelyn, you look like you've been on vacation. What's your secret?" She just laughed and said, "Maybe I finally started listening to my body." The science behind the story. Evelyn later learned something fascinating. When we age, the endothelial lining of our blood vessels, the inner layer that controls blood flow, starts to stiffen. Poor diet, stress, and lack of movement make it worse. But certain natural compounds, like the carnosic acid in rosemary and the menthol in peppermint, can help relax those vessels and boost circulation. That means better oxygen delivery, better brain health, and more energy. In fact, researchers found that rosemary aroma alone can increase alertness and even improve memory performance in older adults. And lavender? It's known to lower cortisol, the stress hormone, helping the body rest and recover. So without realizing it, Evelyn's home remedy was doing more than easing her legs. It was supporting her whole system, heart, brain, and sleep. The awakening. Over the next few months, Evelyn's life transformed in quiet, beautiful ways. She started walking every morning again, not fast, not far, just enough to feel the air move through her lungs. She cooked healthier meals. She smiled more, and she began journaling about her journey. How a simple jar of oil brought her back to herself. Her confidence returned. Her sense of purpose reignited. It was as if the oil had become more than a remedy. It was a ritual. She even started gifting small bottles of it to her friends. At first, they thought it was just a nice gesture. Then they started noticing changes, too. Warmer hands, better sleep, lighter moods. Word spread. People in her community began calling it Evelyn's oil. But Evelyn always smiled and said, "It's not mine. It's nature's." The mystery. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Around the 4th month, something unusual began to happen. Evelyn realized she could smell the oil, even when she hadn't used it. The scent seemed to linger in her home, especially near her grandmother's old rocking chair. Sometimes, when she sat quietly reading, she'd feel a gentle warmth spreading through her legs, even though she hadn't applied the oil that day. At first, she thought she was imagining it, but one night, when the power went out during a storm, she swore she saw a faint glow inside the jar on her windowsill. Soft, golden, pulsing gently. She blinked, and it was gone, but that feeling of calm stayed. Was it the oil, her imagination, or something deeper, something ancestral, like the memory of healing passed down through generations? She never told anyone about the glow, not even her daughter. But every night, before bed, she still whispers her grandmother's words. Nature remembers. And maybe, just maybe, it's remembering her too.